New set hit the streets, surging sparks blaze. Pikachu on the scene, electric craze. Never KO, shocking every phase. Think stacked high trainers in the days. Ceruledge X damage through the roof. Smacking down opponents, giving them proof. Big hits, quick flicks, gotta stay aloof. 1-2 combo like a lightning spoof. Surging sparks, cards lit hot to hold. Ace Spec treasure shimmering like gold. Game changers, playmakers, truth be told. This TCG set, legends unfold. New set hit the streets, search stop. New top, the sea search slap. New set hit the streets, search stop. Legends unfold. Archaludon, looping and nice. Stratagem so tight, precise and concise. Drawing all the cards, taking advice from the masters of the game, cutting like a knife. Surging through the pack, spark by spark. Decks erupting power, pride is a lock. New ways to play, ignite in the dark. Embrace the new set, ignite the mark. Surging sparks, cards lit hot to hold. Ace Spec treasure shimmering like gold. Game changers, playmakers, truth be told. This TCG set, legends unfold. Legends unfold.
What's up YouTube, it's TCG here and welcome back to another TCG video on my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the top 20 best cards from Surging Sparks. The set actually comes out in about 2 weeks time, so we definitely want to be taking a look at which cards will have the most competitive impactfulness. Also, a little disclaimer, this is my opinion combined with some of the results of Japan. So if your opinion is different, let me know in the description, actually not in the description, in the comments below, so we can get a discussion started left and right on why you think specific cards should be higher or lower up on the list, or why specific cards should be included that are currently not included. Also, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscriber button. You're actually going to be able to get daily Pokemon TCG content. And actually, the cool thing is that we recently passed 90,000 subscribers, which is totally awesome. And I want to thank every single person out there that is watching the daily content. Also, if you enjoyed the video at any given point in the video, be sure to let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. Only takes one tiny second of your time and helps out the channel tremendously. With that being said, before you ask, we are on the official Pokemon website because they have all the card scans available for the very first time before the set actually is available, which is super cool. And without further ado, let's dive into this top 20 cards video with Eevee. Number 20 for me is Eevee, and the reason why I think Eevee is a great card here is because of the boosted evolution ability. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, it can evolve during your first turn or on the turn you play it. This will have a significant impact on the playability of any evolution going forward. If you're thinking about, let's say they're ever printing something like a Jolteon EX or Espeon EX or you name it, then we will grab towards this Eevee, which is going to be making the bread and butter for those kind of decks because you can instantly evolve it, which I personally think is really strong. Currently, we only have Sylveon EX to be toying around with as a viable deck to say, as to speak, but yeah, Eevee will definitely see more play during his lifespan depending on how many evolutions we're actually getting. So for me, number 20 over here with Eevee. Then we're going all the way here to the first EX on the menu is Slaking. I've put Slaking here on the number 19 spot because it hasn't seen that much success yet in Japan and also has a hindrance of its ability here, Born to Slack. That's a very funky ability indeed. If your opponent's Pokemon, actually if your opponent has no Pokemon EX or Pokemon V Pokemon in play, this Pokemon cannot attack. Yeah, you heard that right. That means it's gonna be if the opponent sees a little Slackout. Yeah, that's the first basic Pokemon, right? If they see a Slackout, they can just decide, oh, I'm not gonna slap down any EXs or V Pokemon, and out of nowhere you cannot attack. So there are definitely ways to play around Slacking. But if you are able to play against a deck that is full of EXs and V Pokemon, think about a Raging Bull, the Koraidon deck for example, you can just get this out and you can actually start swinging for 280 damage with the great swing for only 2 colorless energies. This also is a stage 2 Pokemon, meaning it needs to rely upon rare candy to just get going, but it has 340 HP, which is really monstrous, and the 280 number is enough to knock out stuff like Lugia V-Star, Regidrago V-Star, like all the V-Stars are getting knocked rocked out with that, and basic EXs and basic V Pokemon as well. So yeah, we have to try this out, but as mentioned, people can play around it, so that's why it's not so high up on the list. 19th place here for Slaking. Then we will be going all the way to number 18, and that is actually for me Sylveon EX. At first glance, you might say, oh, why do you put Sylveon so low up on the list? The reason for that is that it hasn't seen much success yet, and also it only slaps 160 damage. I know during your opponent's next turn, you actually have 100 damage reduction going into you. Which is very similar to Hisuian Gudra V-Star. It could be the game changer between surviving a hit from Raging Bolt and not, but you still need to two-shot, and this meta is way too fast to begin with like Dusknoirs left and right. I don't believe Sylveon will have that much of an impact. Also, hitting for Psychic Weakness is not too relevant at the moment. The most popular decks out there are not like hindered by that. It also it does come back with a cool attack, the Angelite. Choose 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon, shuffle those Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your opponent's deck. If one of your Pokemon used Angelite during your last turn, you cannot use it during this turn. So yeah, what can we say? We can just board control the opponent's entire field. Just, oh, that's a Zard, that's a Pidgeot. Just, poof, you put it in the opponent's deck and you're good to go. Which means they need to like evolve with Rare Candy again. So the attack seems nice. Maybe you can get it off with something like a Mirage Gate, but I'm not too fan of like the Sylveon quite yet. Then number 17 is going to a one-prize Pokemon that can set up yeah, your entire field. It is going to be the one-prize Terapagos. Search your deck for up to 3 basic energy cards of different types and attach them to your Terra Pokemon in any way you like. This is the best way to power up those awkward attack costs. We've seen them countless amounts before where the Terra Pokemon have like 3 different energy types that they need in order to attack. Well, this Terapagos can set it up. Maybe this could be a way you could be playing basic energies in the Terapagos EX deck, so you can get that second attack off as well. It reminds me a little bit of the Arceus V with the Trinity Nova, or Trinity Charge, to just power up your Pokemon and then do something the following turn. So that's why I'm putting it here on the number 17 spot, Terapagos. It might actually see play with all these Terra Pokemon running around left and right. This set also comes back with tons of Ace Spec cards. A little bit of honorable mention is like a Brilliant Blender, which can discard 5 cards from your deck, but I personally think there are better Ace Spec cards around. And also, I'm going to be talking about the Precious Trolly here. This actually is a very cool one. Search your deck for any number of basic Pokemon and put them onto your bench. This is huge. Imagine you have a Terapagos in play and a 0 area under that, or any other Terra Pokemon for that matter. Then you can just fill your bench with like 7 additional Pokemon. Oh, that's gonna be fantastic. Like just going crazy with this Precious Trolly. It could be nice as a deck building solution to just get your setup going. Arven, Precious Trolly, and off you go to the races, because you instantly will have, it actually states basic Pokemon, so you can get yourself, as a little example, Pidgey, or maybe even better, Duskull, Dreepy, Rotom, and wow, the deck just functions. I know you cannot rely on the Sparkling Crystal that way, but yeah, this is a setup card. Might this bring new life to decks like the Reggies from back in the day, so you can set them up in 1 turn instantly, not a struggle to just get them, and I'm very curious to start working with the Precious Trolly right here. Number 15 will be the only Alolan Exeggutor EX. You might think, we're not going to be playing that, we're not going to be evolving Executes. I know, but you did forget here, it is a Dragon-type Pokemon. That actually means that we can start playing it in Regidrago V-Star as well. You discard Alolan Exeggutor EX, and then you can start using the attacks with Regidrago V-Star, and it actually comes back with the Tropical Frenzy, 150 damage, and you may attach any number of basic energy cards from your hand to your Pokemon in any way you like. This is very good to set up a second Regidrago V. To be honest, I think that's a very strong attack, definitely because the deck also plays Earthen Vessels in a high amount. And then its second attack is really funky, the Swinging Sphere. Flip a coin. If heads, the opponent's active Pokemon basic. If the opponent's active Pokemon is a basic, it is knocked out. If tails, choose one of your opponent's bench basic Pokemon and it is now knocked out. Again, stuff like Raging Bolt is gonna be so hilarious. You're one-shotted, let's go. So I think this is a strong inclusion for Regidrago V-Star, and that's why I'm putting it here on the number 15 spot. Number 14, let us continue on, will be, you have a choice of all these cards, it's gonna be Black Kyurem EX. This Black Kyurem EX is an interesting Pokemon because it can insta-paralyze. Insta-paralyzation is very strong. Let us just state that, and definitely in combination with Hand Disruption. Think about Unfair Stamp, Iono, Roxanne. I know what you're gonna say, like Pheasantipity left and right, but the cool thing is, with this, your plan is not to actually knock something out, but rather to trap it so you can knock it out next turn. That's gonna be super nice because if the opponent's active Pokemon is a Dragon type Pokemon, think about a Regidrago V-Star for example, you can instantly paralyze it. And then the opponent will need to find their only Prime Catcher and switch, or maybe a Turo in their deck. And if you combine that with an Iono, it's very great. I can see this working out with Counter Gain. We're going to be talking about Counter Gain in a minute. It actually was reprinted all the way from Lost Thunder. So control decks will have new ways to attack with different Pokemon because DTE Counter Gain can get this attack off. So Black Kyurem EX, the insta-paralyzation Pokemon right here. Next up, we're going to be talking about Koraidon on the number 13 spot. This time around, Koraidon is not a Dragon type Pokemon. It is actually a Fighting type Pokemon, which helps a ton because now you can hit for specific weaknesses. Think about one-shotting a Rotom because it's fighting weakness. Think about a Terapagos, which is weak to fighting. Miraidon is weak to fighting. So now you have this typing by your side. The only thing you need to do is attack with another ancient Pokemon during your last turn, and then you can stop 180 damage. Enough to knock out Lumineon. Enough to knock out a Rotom because of weakness. It is going to be a very nice thing to have. It is Koraidon instantly stopping 180 because in the past we had another Koraidon in the ancient box, but that actually made sure you have to slap down a lot of your ancient Pokemon in play, meaning you cannot put them in a discard pile afterwards. So this is obviously way better for ancient box decks, and I'm all for it. Moving forward, number 12, Hydreigon EX. A little bit low up on the list, and the reason for that is that it actually hasn't seen that much success quite yet. Its second attack is actually super crazy. You're slapping 130 damage and then 130 to two of your opponent's bench Pokemon. When the opponent sees a Dino, they will instantly slap down Manaphy. So that's why I think it's not that good, but currently people are not playing Manaphy, so you can see where we're going with this. If you want to do something crazy with that spread shenanigans, you're better off playing Regidrago V-Star and playing Kyurem in the list over this, but this actually has more HP and doesn't come back with a downside. So you can attack, and on the following turn you can do the attack again. So if you're able to attack this against specific archetype, let's say you're able to get this attack off twice against something like Miraidon, for example, you get all your 6 prize cards. So that is something to work towards too. You can use stuff like the Counter Gain, you can use Dark Patch, you can use Neo Upper Energy, and you can get this attack off in one go. So this could be super nice to just get a very funky Rogue Hydreigon EX deck. There's also its first attack, 200 damage flat, coming short for the basic V or basic EX Pokemon, I know, but it also goes back with some disruption, is discarding the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. So that could be really funky to just get rid of the opponent's resources while you just slap them with a Hydreigon time and time again. It is a stage 2 Pokemon, so again, we will have some, necessary Rotom shenanigans for setup, Rotom, Force Seal Stone, Arven, something like that. But maybe Hydreigon might find its way in one competitive deck in the near future, who knows. Then moving forward, we're going to be talking about a new stadium card that actually is pretty good in my opinion. There is this one, which can bring 30 more HP to basic Pokemon, but I think that's not too great because that's easy overlappable with another stadium or a Lost Vacuum or something. But this one has instantly impact if you are actually attacking. All the stage 2 Pokemon in play get 30 less HP. You put something like, for example, a Charizard EX all the way to 300 HP. You put a Pidgeot EX all the way to 250 HP. The cool thing with this is that you can now have something easier to just go for one-hit KOs, and that's really, really useful. We are in a stage 2 meta, like even Gardevoir EX, 30 less HP, meaning it only has 280 HP. If it uses something like the Psychic Embrace a little bit, like let's say 2, then they're at 240 HP. So yeah, Gravity Mountain will put in work the more and more stage 2 Pokemon sees play, and that's why I'm personally putting it here on the number 11 spot. Number 10, all the way in the middle here. What can it be? What can it be? It is going to be Rotom. This Rotom got the community crazy when it first released because it comes back with a very disruptive attack. Your opponent reveals their hand, discard all item cards and Pokemon tool cards you find there. How crazy is that? Like, for 1 energy, scouting the opponent's hand and getting rid of all the items and the tool cards you find there, in my opinion, Eevee is probably better because most of the time the opponent will only have like 2 items in their hand, but in other situations where you're up against a turbo-based deck with like Trekking Shoes, with Nest Balls in there, Earthen Vessels, you name it, like a whole bunch of items, this could be really funny to use. And the only problem I see here with Rotom is like, in which deck do you actually play Rotom? Because it needs lighting energy. You might think, oh, I'm going to be creating a funky control deck with luminous energy left and right. Yeah, maybe. But initially, like the main top decks out there that are playing lighting energy, like Raging Bolt, which wants to attack instead of going for Disruption. And same goes for Koraidon. So that's why I'm sliding it here on the number 10 spot, because the attack power is really powerful, but not overwhelming in my opinion. Number 9 will be Milotic EX. That's right, Milotic actually has been seeing some reasonable success over in Japan, combined with Noivern, combined with Mimikyu, combined with Cornerstone Ogerpon, because those all have one thing in common. They have walling abilities, and that's where Milotic actually comes into fruition. It prevents all the damage from and effects of attacks from your opponent's Tera Pokemon down to this Pokemon. So even the effects are blocked, so ultimate protection against Tera Pokemon. What are Tera Pokemon? We have Charizard, Dragapult, Tealmask Ogerpon. Yeah, a lot of Tera Pokemon are currently at the top table, so you can wall them off completely. And the cool thing is that it also states effects, meaning Phantom Dive also does not hit you. So Milotic being immune for all those powerful decks. If the opponent starts playing Cologne to attack against this, it's very bad. But if they don't, you can wall them off completely. And I think this actually might see play in some stall wall decks. That's right. Now to number 8. Number 8 for me is going to be an Ace Spec card. It is not going to be the Blender, even though like the Blender could be used with stuff like to get Archeops into this card pile, but then you don't have Legacy Energy. It can be used in Ceruledge to just get more damage output, but not too big a fan of this one. But on this one, I am a big fan of the Energy Search Pro. Search your deck for any number of basic energy cards of different types, reveal them and put them into your hand. This could actually mean you can search your deck for like 8 basic energies instantly in the hand. Yeah, you know what that means. Making It Rain with Goldango has been getting a buff with this. You're actually going to be able to go for huge one-hit KOs with Make It Rain. The only thing you need to do is playing Irida or something like the Arven or something like the Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking. Just find this card and just get all the energies out the deck. Just put it on top of the deck, draw it out with the coin bonus. So yeah, insane fact here, getting so many energies from the deck. I wonder if other archetypes might play it, but for now it's only gonna be the Goldango EX deck. Then 7th place goes to a Pokemon that also blows itself up, pretty similar to a Dusknoir. It's going to be Magneton. It actually is able to blow itself up, very similar to like Electros from back before it. Once during your turn, you may attach up to 3 basic lightning energy cards from your discard pile to your lightning Pokemon in any way that you like. If you use this ability, this Pokemon is now knocked out. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have been reminiscing on Flaffy in the Koraidon deck because, I don't have any energies anymore, well, good news for you. We now have ways to put energies back in play. This means Raichu V becomes more powerful than ever before because it can now actually sustainably go for the big one-hit KO, just blow up a Magneton. And in most situations, because the opponent most of the time wants to go 2-2-2 in the prize race, you don't mind giving up a prize card in Koraidon. So Magneton able to blow itself up, you get the energies, you can instantly set up an Iron Hand. So this is going to be really tricky. Like if Koraidon goes first, set up a Magnemite, Squawkabilly left, right, bam, there you go. And then the second turn, you most likely will be able to amp everyone. You could also then play the Heavy Baton to preserve your energies, and then Magneton to blow itself up again, and then goes for a big Raichu play to one-shot. So this will give Koraidon the capability that it once had to go for a late-game Raichu, which actually was necessary to just beat stuff like Charizard. So super cool to see Magneton here, and also Magneton in combination with an Iono could be tricky. Like let's say the opponent only needs 2 more prize cards, you blow up a Magneton, and then go for an Iono to 1. That's super cool indeed. Magneton also can help withstand some Briar plays. Let's say the opponent, if you just want to knock an opponent down, you need to go for 4-2 prize cards. You can blow up a Magneton in the process so you are safe from Briar plays. So I think this actually will see play. So that's why I'm a big fan of the Magneton here on the number 7 spot. Number 6 for me goes to an item card that I think universally will be great. it is going to be Tera Orb. Tera Orb just searches your deck for a Tera Pokemon. As simple as that. So free search for Tera Pokemon, and you might think, why would we play this over Ultra Ball? You can play this on top of an Ultra Ball because now you can just go, let's say you don't want to discard any cards from your hand, you can go Arven, Tera Orb, Evolve. Could be played in Charizard, could be played in Dragapult. So I think universal search for Tera Pokemon is great, and the more Tera Pokemon are releasing, the more you will grab towards something like this Tera Orb. So for me, 6th place, it is a very great search card for sure. Then, number 5 is going to be a Pokemon that's going to be giving free retreat to all of your basic Pokemon. You heard me right, that is Latias EX. Your basic Pokemon in play have no retreat cost. Every single basic Pokemon out there, whether you're playing an Iron Hands that has a ridiculous 4 retreat cost, you can now just remove that retreat cost altogether, and that's why Latias EX will most likely see play. You can be playing it in Raging Bolt, so you don't always need to play switch cards, although you're still going to be weak to Snorlax block if you do go with a route like that, but just notice is that Latias can bring free retreat. The thing is, like, something like Electric Generator only works with Pokemon on the bench, so you then need to find a way to go into the active position. Most of the time that was like a rescue board, switch card, and stuff. But now you have free retreat. Another thing this could be, I know Peturant is also being played in a Roaring Moon, but if you just have free retreat with all of your Pokemon, isn't that better so you don't poison yourself? So, I know, but Peturant can definitely help against Snorlax block more than Latias, but free retreat with all of your basic Pokemon is nice and will 100% be played in Koraidon. So Koraidon gets a lot of tricks and tools, to be honest. Moving forward, 4th place. Not quite in the top 3, but it's still a very strong card. It is a reprinted card. Can you guess which one it is? It is Counter Gain, reprinted all the way back from Lost Thunder, meaning you can now use your old copies. If you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent, you can put this tool card onto your Pokemon, and then you need 1 cardless energy less to attack. As an example that I gave, you can now use Kyurem for a DTE to paralyze Dragon Pokemon. Counter Gain will 100% be used in control archetypes that want to be using some sort of wacky effects. DTE and Counter Gain means that you can now search Pokemon in the format, then need 3 cardless energies or something, and then do some funky stuff with that. Counter Gain will also open the door so you can attack way easier in specific scenarios. I want to think real quick against or which situations where you can use Counter Gain, because it only gives up a colorless energy, and most Tera Pokemon need just the basic energy, so no colorless energy. So that's going to be something to figure out, but I think Counter Gain is just such a strong card that I have seen it work before in other formats. It will never disappoint once again. So 4th place for me. Then let's go to the top 3, and the reason why those are the top 3 is that those are the most successful cards in the format currently when I look at Japanese results. For me, 3rd place is Archaludon EX. The Archaludon is here. It is very tanky, like back in the days of the Rolodon VMAX, and it is loopable with the means of Turo. That means that you can actually, if you have a couple of Turos in your list and maybe Palpat, you already have a deck archetype of your own. You can use the Assemble Alloy, allowing you to, if you evolve into Archaludon EX, you can accelerate 2 basic metal energies from your discard pile to your metal type Pokemon in any way you like, meaning it is Turo loopable. You can just attack with a Charizard, you get attacked, you just Turo it up, discard all the energies, evolve another Archaludon, get all the energies back, and yeah, it is going like that. You can go in circles. If you've been playing Arc Intel, it's very similar to Charon's Care looping, so that's a very cool thing to see here. Also, its damage output is only 220, but that's the perfect number for basic EXs and V Pokemon, sometimes cutting short on 230 HP basics. And we also can rely upon the Relicanth to use the attack of the Rolodon. More on that later, but during your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon has no weakness, meaning you also protect yourself against fire weak shenanigans. Think about Ceruledge, think about a Radiant Charizard, for example. Those can be quite a threat for you, but this is a very strong Metal type Pokemon, and the ability also can be used to power up other Metal type Pokemon. Think about a Zamazenta, think about a Dialga V-Star, for example. So I'm very excited for Archaludon. The Duraludon, this is not the Duraludon you want, but we do have a Duraludon in the format that does 80 damage plus 10 more for every damage counter on yourself. And because of the power effect of Relicanth, which is also a card that was printed already, you can also go for one-hit KOs if the opponent hits big damage onto you. So yeah, Archaludon. Hopefully you guys are excited for it. Then number 2, just not barely making number 1, it is going to be Pikachu EX. Yeah, I was debating on putting this one as the number 1, but there's another card that I'm more a fan of. But yeah, Pikachu EX has the Resolute Heart. If this Pokemon has full HP and would be knocked out by damage from your opponent's attack, it is not knocked out and its remaining HP becomes 10 instead. Very, again, Koraidon gets all the love. Why is this great? Because now you no longer have to play Mewtwo, the Tera Mewtwo EX that was played in Koraidon, to just make sure you can go for the Area 0 under that big stadium shenanigans. You now can play Pikachu, which is a defensive mechanism by itself. The opponent will not go for, oh, I'm gonna boss Pikachu and knock it out because then your bench size shrinks again. Not gonna happen because your remaining HP will become 10 instead. This is very, very powerful in my opinion because not a lot of decks are playing Canceling Cologne. Not a lot of decks are, yeah, you could still use Radiant Alakazam afterwards, I suppose, if you're playing the Dragapult, but if they're playing Dragapult, they would sprinkle damage counters regardless, so this Pikachu also, you can combine this with Lost Box and Mirage Gate because 300 damage output, and maybe you're playing that new Stadium as well, allows you to actually one-shot anything in the game. And you can do it time and time again, Super Rod, Mirage Gate, so strong, you don't get one-shot, which is very important. So Pikachu, a very, very strong card for sure, and that's why I'm putting it here on the number 2 spot. Not only is it the Tera Pokemon of choice in Koraidon that plays Area 0 under that, it can also become its own unique archetype because there are ways where you can Mirage Gate into Pikachu, start swinging one shot, they attack you, you don't get one shot, you knock something else out because you Mirage Gate again. It definitely requires some inspection to see how big Pikachu will become. And then to finish off, my number 1 pick from Surging Sparks for me personally is going to be Ceruledge EX. I'm a big fan of Pokemon that only require low amount of energies for big one-hit KOs, and that's what Ceruledge EX comes packing with. It comes back with the Abyssal Flames, 30 damage plus 20 more for each energy in your discard pile. Brings me some vibe of the back in the days of Victini Prism Star, and your main objective is getting as many energy cards in the discard pile. It states energy cards, so it don't need to be fire energies, it can be special energies, it can be regular energies, it can be whatever you want. So you can combine Ceruledge with something like Palkia, V-Star, and Greninja if you want to have some different typings into your deck. You can play a lot of special energies if you want to have some more defensive power. Maybe you play a couple of gift energies as well. So there is definitely a lot of things happening. You can also be playing some Jet Energies and Fan Rotoms, for example. But the main thing is clear. If your deck runs around 19 energies or something, the big one-hit KOs will become clear quite easily. As soon as you have like 10 energies in your discard pile, you're slapping 230 damage for just one regular energies. Most of these lists in Japan are playing Legacy Energy to make sure you can turn this 2-prizer into a 1-prizer. Sometimes you can also play Radiant Greninja and Palkia to have that as your 1-prizer. So I would love to be playing with Ceruledge, and there's definitely going to be some tournament success for this because, yeah, that crazy damage output for 1 energy, it also means you can start playing some other, cool cards in here because you don't need the attach of the turn all that often. Another cool thing with Ceruledge is that it is a fire type Pokemon, when you can also buff it up with the new Victini for more damage output if you would prefer that. And we have a lot of turboness in the format. Think about Pokestop. Think about Squawkabilly, think about Carmine. As soon as your first turn, you can burn half of your deck, and then as soon as that, you one-shot, play a high amount of Bosses Orders, and off you go. Ceruledge becomes a very powerful deck. So for me, that is my number 1 pick for Surging Sparks. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. Helps out a ridiculous ways. Don't forget, we are making our way to 100,000 subscribers, slowly but steadily, but can we get there by the end of the year? That would be a dream come true. So definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. It helps out a ton. And thank you everyone for watching. Be sure to check out the sponsors that make the videos possible. DragonShield.com for your sleeves, binders, and deck boxes. Use the coupon ZAPDOS5 to get 5% off on your order. TC Evolutions for your damage counters, ability tokens, V-Star tokens, you name it. 10% off using the coupon ZAPDOSTCG. PotownStore.com for your TCG Live code card needs. You can get easy access to more codes with instant email delivery, and you can get 5% off your order. And then cardmarket.com for European players, where you're able to buy and sell cards to people all across Europe. Use the referral name ZapDoesTCG to help support the channel. Also, what did you think about the introduction song? I want to hear all your opinions down below. Also want to know which card do you personally think is the strongest in Surging Sparks. Let's get a discussion started. Have yourself a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.